Habakkuk 2 and verse 4 says this. It says, behold the proud, his soul is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. But the just shall live by his faith. He says, Habakkuk, listen, you can't sit around and do nothing. That's the distraction. That's what we come up. God's saying, no, what you need to recognize is to do what I've called you to do, to live out your life as I've called you to live it out. That's the plan. That's what God is unfolding, is that you and I need to be challenged, that the just, those that have been justified, need to live out their faith. And so here's the big question we need to answer today. What does it look like for the ones who have been saved by faith, the ones who have been justified by faith? What does it look like to live just? What does it mean that the just would live by their faith? Because here, the book of Habakkuk is broken into two parts. There was in chapter 1 and chapter 2 this whole conflict of faith. And there are sometimes when we have to live, when we don't understand about what's going on, our faith is not based on what we see. Our faith is based on what we believe. And the conflict of faith is when what we see doesn't line up with what we believe. And when that happens, do we become paralyzed and do nothing? Do we sit around and question and get concerned? Do we walk away from faith and say, this doesn't make any sense? How can I serve God when I don't know what's going on? What we have to realize is the conflict of faith is to live out what we believe in our world, despite what's going on around us. Because the last part that Habakkuk found out is that when we begin to live, the just live by faith, that we experience the triumph of faith.